You don't wake up one day and decide to abandon yourself, darling. It happens slowly, quietly, and over time. When you were told that being loved was more important than being your whole full self, when you were rewarded for being low maintenance or easy, agreeable, selfless, giving, right? When your rage was punished and your silence was praised, when you learned that being chosen was the goal, even if it meant that your real self had to disappear. But now, if you've clicked on this video, your body is probably tired. Your joy might feel distant. And you might be wondering if the price that you're paying for love, if it is even freaking worth it. So this video, this is your invitation, darling, to come back to yourself, to remember your soul, and to return back to her. To return to the woman who never needed to be fixed to begin with. And through this deep transformational teaching, you'll be slowly reclaiming her. Welcome to the Apsara Academy. This is where we talk about real love, soul level healing, and unshakable feminine power. I want to begin, before we dive deeper, I want to share a small disclaimer, right? Before we begin, love, this session might stir up things you've buried for years, memories, patterns, unmet needs that were never voiced before. So things might get stirred up. Let it come gently, allow it. You don't have to push through, all right? Take your time. You can pause this video whenever and come back to continue with it. You don't have to finish all of this in one go. Right? Honor your nervous system and go with its own pacing. So if something feels too much, pause, yeah? Breathe. Return when you feel more ready. And I hope you have your journal and pen, yeah? All right, my love. See, self-abandonment isn't like a single moment's decision, right? It's 1,000 quiet moments where you continuously choose someone else's comfort over your own, where you silence your very body's needs just to keep the peace, where you've convinced yourself that your needs can pretty much wait, like until you stopped hearing your soul, your real needs and wants just shut up altogether. So self-abandonment happens slowly, quietly, in the in-between moments that no one talks about. When you skipped meals but made sure he was fed. When you smiled through the discomfort because you didn't want to make it awkward for someone else. When you muted your truth to be the girl who was easy to love and not a burden to anyone. You learned that your needs were negotiable, that your needs were not a priority. It came last on the list of priorities. You learned that being small and shrinking yourself was the way to connect. You learned that being desirable meant being quiet or voiceless, that being chosen meant being anything but you. And you adapted, yeah? You became the shape of what they wanted, and subconsciously that got wired, and your template for love, for connection, for belonging got messed up. But that wasn't love, darling. It was a survival strategy of a little girl. But in her own wisdom, she learned how to perform, to morph herself, to become something else so she could maintain connection, love, and not be abandoned or ostracized, right? So she could feel safe. And And now your body is probably tired, right? You feel exhausted from all the performance all the time. You wonder why your love life feels like a battlefield all the time, and why your heart always feels like it's not quite safe, whichever guy you might choose. But I want you to know this, darling. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not lazy or dramatic or needy. You are a woman who was taught repeatedly to betray herself. And now, through such teachings, you'll slowly but surely wake up, right? Now, this is how I've designed this deep teaching, alchemy, transformational content for you beauties. The first part of the content is going to be teaching, right? Content, for you to cognitively understand what self-abandonment and self-neglect is all about, where it comes from, and all that jazz, right? Sometimes naming something, cognitively understanding something through the conscious part of your brain itself is the first step towards healing, right? And it itself is a layer of healing. Just to understand things, to name things, to get certain things clear in the conscious part of your brain, right? And the second, so that's what the first part of this video is going to be about. I will give you different perspectives for you to understand this thing called self-abandonment, self-neglect. And sprinkle through it a couple of journal prompts for you to understand what your unique, specific patterns are. Why? Because like I always say, right? Knowing yourself, darling, is where the magic begins, right? So I will give you, through the first section, some journal prompts, and while you're doing it, take those questions seriously. Pause the video if you must and dive as deeply as you can into answering those questions, right? That work, right? That is the great work, as I call it. Answering those questions is where it is at, where the inner work, where the healing is at. It is not me spitting out information. It's not about me asking these journal prompts. It is about you receiving it and doing the work, okay? So after that section, we will get into a little bit of somatic healing work, right? Embodiment work, through some breath work, through some visualization and things like that, whatever comes through in the moment. And at the very end, like we usually do, we will end this transmission with a prayer and an intention to God and to universe, and which will help calibrate a lot of things. And through these initiation prayers, I will be sending out spells, words, mantras, affirmations. And if one or many of these chants or spells or affirmations lands deeply in it, I would want you to take that down, make a note of it, and make it your own, right? And use it as your chant, as your mantra, to help your nervous system rewire itself, okay? So, are you ready, darling? Do you have your cup of tea and coffee ready? I have my cup of warm water. And I hope you're ready to come along this journey with me. Ladies, this is deep work. This is the great work. And if you got what it takes to watch this video to the very end and actually do this work, my darling, I deeply honor you, right? You're my kind of girl, and you've come to the right portal. So before we dive in, if you like my vibe, if you like such content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my work, darling, because every little action helps us spread the word, right? I truly believe I create this work. My entire channel is in service to the feminine collective out there, and I truly believe that one shot at a time, one video at a time, if this message can reach the entire world, many women can be helped through this message, through this work. All right, so even if you know that one friend or one relative, don't forget to share this with her. All right, especially if you know that she's abandoning herself in her relationship with her husband. Okay, all right, my darling, let's start. So I wanna talk about the cycle of self-abandonment first. Okay, so all right, so we're talking about the cycle of self-abandonment. It starts with It starts with unmet needs. So what are we talking about? We're talking about suppressed emotional needs. We're talking about suppressed mental needs, suppressed physical needs, or spiritual needs. Okay, so this is where it all starts. Unmet needs, which leads to certain coping behaviors. What are we talking about? Coping behaviors could be, it could play itself out in many ways, but what comes to my mind at the moment is like escaping behaviors like drugs, alcohol, or mindlessly scrolling on social media, right? Like I'm talking like extreme, mindlessly scrolling, and hours pass by, entire days and weeks pass by, and nothing gets done because time is wasted. Just, you know, your entire energies and time is consumed by social media pretty much. That's what I'm talking about, like escapist behavior, right? Or another coping behavior is you chase for love, right? You chase externally outside of you for love. Another coping behavior could be like you're overgiving, overperforming, over-sacrificing, you know, for love. And another coping behavior comes to mind because this is something that I suffer with, and I'm in my own personal healing journey, right? I'm processing this. So one coping behavior is for self-abandonment, right? Because some unmet need is there and it is showing up. The symptom of it is overeating. That's what I go to. Comfort through food, safety through food, grounding through food, or whatever. Because there has been something in me that I'm overriding or not giving attention to, right? So I'm abandoning myself. I'm not loving myself with something. I'm neglecting something that I need. And because I do that, it shows up in the coping behavior of overeating for me. So through this, what I want you to do, my beauties, is not just absorb all this as content, okay, information. Like information is free in the Aquarian era that we are in. I don't want you to do that, please. From the bottom of my heart, ladies, when I'm giving you information, I want you to self-analyze, self-question, reflect on it to find out what your particular specific coping behavior might be. Okay? So unmet needs leads to coping behaviors. So this is the cycle of self-abandonment, okay? Which leads to guilt and shame. Okay, like we're talking intense self-judgment, self-criticism, self-condemnation, right? This happens to me. So I override some of my needs going through day-to-day living, right? And it shows up in my real life in an eating disorder, which after I'm done with that compulsive eating behavior, it leads to, at the end of it, or the next day, I wake up feeling so much of guilt and shame, okay? Judgments and restrictions and whatnot. So that leads to, again, suppression of needs, okay? So this is what I call the cycle of self-abandonment. And I want you to just take a moment and be with this information, and ask yourself these questions, ladies, okay? Don't just rush past it. You know, cycle of abandonment, needs unmet, da 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 da. No. Take this with you. So this is what is called embodying information, right? Take this with you and become meta-conscious today or the next week or the whole month. And when you see some sort of a coping behavior coming up, be it escaping or overperforming or whatever, like chasing for love, overeating like in my case, stop, pause, hold it, get quiet still, go back and see what of your needs are you not meeting. For example, this was a very recent thing that happened in my personal journey, in my personal process, where I was overriding my need for physical rest, sleep. Okay, I was overriding it with coffee and stuff like that when my body was crying. Sorry ladies, there was a tiny technical glitch. My husband is helping me figure this entire new technology out. It's a learning curve for me. Alright, so I forget where we ended, but let me just continue. So the cycle of self-abandonment starts with unmet needs, which leads to various kinds of coping behaviors, which leads to guilt and shame. We are heavy into this. The feminine collective is heavy into this, which again leads to unmet needs. Okay, so this is this is it, my love, right? This is how women, we lose ourselves. This is how women lose themselves. But the moment you see this pattern, right, you stop being powerless over it, and healing can begin, right? Once you catch one of these patterns, like the personal coping mechanism pattern, which started off with one of my unmet needs of needing rest, all right, and that leads to compulsive eating for me. So I figured that out, right? And I was no longer powerless with that particular compulsion of mine, right? And I know myself, I get to know myself, and I get to love myself by honoring those needs, right? And taking that nap. So this is where it all begins, ladies. This is what we call self-love. This is what we call self-honor, by meeting these needs and not expecting someone else or your husband or your children or the world or your friend to meet these needs for you. Trust me, ladies, this is the honest to goodness truth. I don't know if anybody will tell you this, but you got to meet your own spiritual and emotional and many of your physical needs yourself, darling. All right, you got to, this is what is called self-love. This is what is called honoring yourself, right? So when you understand this pattern in you, you're not powerless anymore, all right? And healing can begin. And today, okay, today, my darling, we are going to interrupt this cycle, okay? Are you with me on that? Let me know in the comment section. Drop a freaking fire energy, fire emoji, if you are willing, and 100% green signal on interrupting the self-abandonment cycle. Okay? Now that we've understood the truth of how self-abandonment really begins, right? Let's explore how it shows up in your life right now, right? In the present. Because sometimes the way we betray ourselves is so familiar, ladies. It's so normalized. We no longer even recognize it as pain. It just feels like regular life, right? Because you have normalized it. You think this is how it is being a woman. This is what it is being a woman, and this is how you have to be strong or whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to draw the 4 realms of self-abandonment. Ladies, these are the 4, let me just check to make sure that it's in the right mirror image. Okay, it is the right. I remember once I made a video, I recorded an entire video, and an entire video was on the wrong, it was not mirrored properly, like on camera. So I was like, it was all upside down, or ulta as we call it in my language. So, okay, I just wanted to make sure. Right, so now we're going to talk about the 4 realms, okay, of self-abandonment. This will help you understand and catch some of your particular patterns. All right, so are you ready, ladies? You might want to take your journal out for this and take some notes if you want to, or just stay with me. Okay, so the 4 realms of self-abandonment. The first one is mental disconnection. Like how this might play out. You know, the thoughts you just get obsessed over, like these compulsive thoughts that take you down a dark path, like the patterns that keep looping and looping over, right? For instance, you obsess over men who don't choose you fully, right? Or you get into these spiral when someone pulls away, right? Or ghosts you, or disappears, right? It might show off, it might play itself out in ways of you crave a man's attention more than your own attention to your well-being, right? Your own approval of self. You crave it. You crave it from a man, like a man's attention towards you. You might overthink every message that you get from him, like every text, his tone, his every word, like his minute behaviors, right? So this is mental disconnection. This is one realm of self-neglect, self-abandonment, okay? Now, if this resonates, right, if you feel that you get caught up in this realm quite a lot, then now I'm gonna give you a journal prompt, like a self-reflective. If you don't want to dive deeper into this through a journal prompt, at least reflect on this in this now moment with me, right, while I read this question out for you. But you know what I talk about, right? The magic lies, ladies, when you can go as deeply as possible with these questions that I'm sharing with you. Okay, reflect on it. See, I can't control your behaviors, of course, but I strongly suggest it. Okay, if you want to cut this cycle, all right, and heal yourself, this is one way in which we do inner work, all right? Self-reflection, going as deeply as possible as we can, self-dialogue, self-inquiry, and it starts with answering this question, love. Okay, so the question here is this. Reflect on this. Where in your life have your thoughts become a battlefield instead of a safe space, instead of your safe sanctuary? Where in your life has your thoughts become a literal battlefield? Right? This is like a coping behavior. And these questions that I ask you might get you into your neglected need, help you understand what your real needs are, and fill those needs by yourself. Honor those needs and fill those needs yourself. And that is the definition of self-love, darling. Okay? Right, so now we're going to move to the second realm of self-abandonment. The second realm is emotional suppression. Okay? The first realm is mental disconnection. The second realm is pardon my spelling, okay? English is not my first language. So the second realm is emotional suppression. These are the places where your feelings get shut down, judged, or even buried, right? How this might show up, right? The symptoms of it could look like, because your emotions are suppressed, all right, buried or judged, you tend to snap at the people you love. Then you go on a spiral of feeling guilt and shame because you snapped at them. You might cry in secret, or the other extreme of not cry at all, right? Or there is a disconnect from your behavior, your external behavior, and your true feelings, all right? They are not aligned. For instance, you might smile and be pleasant on the outside when you want to scream or cry on the inside, right? Or you never really say the hard thing, right? You never share your real feelings. So if this lands, if this resonates for you, this is your roll up your sleeve, inner work, healing work prompt. This is where the magic begins, ladies. Do this, take this seriously. This is the question I want you to reflect on and go as deeply as you possibly can. The question is this: what emotion have you been suppressing just to keep it all together? What emotion have you been suppressing just to keep it all together? Okay? The third one. This is big for me. This is something that I am doing my own inner work and healing work and self-loving myself through these self and abandonment issues that I'm having. Okay? For me, it is this realm. At the moment, this is the work that I'm doing. It is physical neglect, right? Like I shared a little bit before. This is how you treat your body, right? This is how you treat your body when you forget that she's sacred, right? It might play out in so many different ways. Like I mentioned, you drink coffee instead of resting, right? You skip meals, but then you make sure that he is fed, your husband is fed, right? It's like you hold your pee, like your hunger, like your breath, like constantly, right? You might be distracting yourself and getting into many escapist behaviors instead of just allowing yourself some spaciousness of stillness and quiet. For you instead of just being still and present in the now glorious moment, you might be like scrolling and consuming content online, right? So if this resonates for you, this is the journal prompt for you, darling. What's one physical need you've been overriding in the name of productivity or being easy, not wanting to be a burden, not wanting to be high maintenance, right? So what is that one physical need that you have been overriding? And the last but not the least, ladies, this is the deepest one, all right? This is the saddest and the most deepest one. It's called what is it called? Soul level amnesia. Okay? It's literally forgetting who you are at your core. Alright? How this might show up is you're overgiving in hopes that someone will love you back in the way you're loving them. Alright? You shrink and you make yourself so small to fit into what they desire, what the world desires or the world expects of you, right? It might play itself out in terms of you might dress or speak or perform, not from a space of authenticity, not from a place of joy and fun for you, but to be desirable to the man or to the world. And it's its minuscule square box versions of it. You know what I mean, right? So, or you feel disconnected from joy, from your own creativity and your own play, right? Your mojo, it disappears. So if this is something that is landing for you, darling, if this is something you're resonating with, this is the journal prompt for your inner healing, okay? Where have you been dimming your fire just to be accepted or to be loved? Where have you been dimming your fire? Right. See, these aren't just bad habits, my love. All right. These are like survival strategies. At least it started off as survival strategies crafted by this little girl who was once just trying to feel safe. But you are no longer that girl, are you? And these patterns, they are not your truth. They are symptoms of what's ready to heal. They are symptoms of what's ready to come up to the light. They are symptoms of what's ready to be witnessed by you. So, darling, if you have subscribed to my channel, and if you're watching this video, trust me, you are ready to heal. So it's time. It's the right divine time that these things are coming up to the surface for you. Okay? Now, okay, we've explored how self-abandonment shows up in your life. Okay? Now I want us to go a little deeper, because none of these patterns are random, darling. Right? You weren't born forgetting yourself. You were trained to. You were trained to prioritize being likable over being real. Right? You were trained to serve, to soothe, to sacrifice, to provide. Because somewhere along the way, someone made you believe that your needs were a problem. So this next part might sting, but stay with me, my love. Stay with me, baby. Because we are not here to shame the past. Yeah, we are here to understand it so we can finally heal it. Okay? Now, I'm going to draw. We're gonna go deeper, all right? This might get a little intense. You might feel this sting. If you do, it means this is working. Healing is happening, right? So I'm going to draw the tree of self-abandonment. Do you see like different perspectives of, you know, how we understand this thing deeper? So the tree of self-abandonment. This is the ground. Okay, this is the earth. Some things are visible about the earth and some things are not. So what is visible, right? The branches are the symptoms. I told you. Can you see it? Okay, so the branches are the symptoms. The trunk is your survival, like learned survival behaviors. Okay, it's learned, and it just shoots off the ground into these symptoms. These are your learned survival behaviors. Okay, and the root, of course, is your cause. Okay, symptoms, the behaviors, right? That's the symptoms that the world sees, that you recognize, you might be aware of. And below the earth is the root, Okay, it's the cause that you might not be aware of, which is not visible to the world. So when we look at the branches, we're talking about symptoms, yeah, like overgiving, obsessing over unavailable men, feeling guilty or shame after saying no, apologizing for your boundaries, suppressed rage, emotional shutdown, all right? Many different ways of self-neglect, chasing validation outside of you, right? So all of these things are the symptoms. And these, like I mentioned, these are learned, ladies. So you can unlearn them with awareness by doing this work, like shedding light on it, all right? So now let's get into the root, all right? I've come up with 12 causes, right, under the surface, the root. The first one is conditional childhood love. So when you were a child, you never experienced the template of unconditional love from your parents, especially from your mother, okay? Or the familial line, okay? Mother figures. So you were only praised when you were good or sweet or quiet, not when you were truly yourself. So you learned that love was something you earned, like you had to satisfy some conditions and then you are lovable. You don't know, you don't understand that you just being are love, all right? It's just something you are. So if this root lands, the magic journal prompt for you, darling, is this. Where did you first believe you had to perform to be loved? Go as deeply as you can with this question. Where did you first believe you had to perform to be loved? If some memories come, write them down. Write out the memory, the flashbacks. Write them down. Some patterns reveal itself. Write them down. Remember, no self-judgment, no self-condemnation, criticism, nothing. Hold yourself with as much compassion, self-empathy, and unconditional love as you possibly can in this moment. Okay? Write it all down. Just bring it to your awareness. Let it flow. Let it come up to the surface. Moving on. The second cause, the second root is parentification. Like you literally had to become the adult too soon, way too soon. Like if you had to be the emotional caretaker for a parent, right? You learned very early that your needs were dangerous. So you stopped asking for help. You started managing everybody else's needs and started managing everybody else's life, right? If this landed, if they struck a chord, if they stirred something, darling, this is your healing inner work prompt. Get your journal out and write this down. Where were you the mature one? Were you the peace holder? Were you the emotional sponge? Write it all out. Memories, patterns, visions, moments. Whatever is flowing, write it all down. If you don't have the time and the space to do this work, save this video in your watch later list and come back. Come back to it. Pause, come back. Okay, remember our disclaimer that I shared right at the very beginning. There is no competition here, all right? You set your own pace, darling. Okay, so we're going to move, like I mentioned, yeah, there are 12 root causes. So we're talking about the third one now. It's the fear of rejection or abandonment. This is a big one for me. So if love was inconsistent, if you learned to chase it, right? Or you learned that you have to pretend, like say lies, like, or you had to fix yourself to to receive it, all right? You had to earn your place. So, right? And you stayed longer than you should have in relationships, maybe, just so you're not left again. Okay, so these are ways that it might show up. And this is your journal prompt, my darling. Who did you stay with or stay small for just to not be abandoned? Okay. P.S. my love, while doing this great work, shed your tears. There are no judgments here. Scream out loud. If anger rises, punch that pillow down. Okay? Go on that run. Put that music on and just move and dance like you're on fire, like nobody is watching, to just move these energies. You might not be, sometimes you might not be able to name the feeling that's arising inside for you, and that is okay. Just feel it, just be aware of it, just become the observer. Okay? You don't have to do anything. Just be in that space, hold that feeling as long as you can, even if you can't name it, and witness it with, this is called reparenting in the industry, right? You become your own best mother. You give yourself the unconditional love that you never received. You provide yourself with unconditional protection that you never received. This is called reparenting yourself. So doing this work might bring up a lot of things in you, my darling. And that's okay. Everything is okay. I want you to know that you're not broken. I want you to know that I honor you. It takes so much of courage and boldness, trust me, to do this inner work. This is what I call the soft freaking hustle. This is the soft grind. And they say feminine energy is ease. Inner work is work, darling. It's not inner sleep or inner rest, right? It is work. And the work is in being able to be in that moment of being the witness and awareness of such pain and such hurt, and just being in it as long as you can, without any judgments or criticism or escapism. You hold it with the utmost love and compassion and awareness. And it will alchemize, my darling. It will shift. It will shift and change, and healing will come. Trust me. Okay? Do the work. Do the work, my lady. Alright, moving on. I want to roll a little faster because we have 12 things that we have here. Okay? Yes, so it is, the fourth one is internalized misogyny and cultural conditioning, right? You were taught to be thin or be nice, be soft, be sweet, be low maintenance, like be everything except fully alive. And you wonder why your fire feels unsafe, right? So if this resonates, your journal prompt for this is, whose idea of feminine are you still living out? Is it my idea of femininity that you're living out, or some guru's idea online, or your mother's, or something, or your own version of femininity from your brain that you're living out, right? Every woman's frequency of embodied femininity, trust me, is uniquely her own. You can't learn it from anybody else. Okay? So dig down with this question. Whose idea of feminine are you still living out? Another root, right? Unhealed shame and self-worth wounds. This is big for me. Like, you were told that you were too much, too loud, too emotional, too needy, too sensitive, too something or whatever, right? So what you do is you become palatable. You make yourself small. You shrink yourself, right? You become digestible. You learned to apologize for existing, pretty much, okay? And for you, my darling, the journal prompt is, where do you still shrink just so others can stay comfortable? All right, next one. Addiction to external validation, right? You become addicted to being needed, praised or admired. You feel empty if no one is clapping for you, because somewhere inside you stopped clapping for yourself. If this resonates, your question is, who are you when no one's watching? Who are you, my darling, when no one is watching? Moving on, another route. Hyper-independence as a trauma response that you've learned. It's like this belief system, right? If it has to be done right, I have to do it myself. I used to be that girl. So my heart goes out to you if you resonate. You call it strength. You might call it, oh, I'm an alpha chick, all right? Nothing wrong in being an alpha chick, by the way, as long as it's truly aligned for your soul. So you might call it strength, but underneath it is exhaustion, right? Your alpha doesn't fire you up and give you more energy and more vitality and more confidence and more expansion and more of everything. You alphaing it out and you calling it strength is actually exhausting you. It's burning you out, right? And as a woman, you just don't know how to receive a compliment, a praise, right? Gifts, provision, protection. So if this resonates, my darling, this is your journal prompt magic work, all right? What's one thing you refuse to ask for, even when you are drowning? What is that thing you refuse to ask for, even when you are drowning? Answer that question. Go deeply as you can go. Witness everything that's coming onto the surface. No judgments, no condemnation, no filtration, right? No one's going to read your journal, darling. If you're scared, like open an online journal or tear up your pages after you've written in them. Burn it up, flush it down the toilet. Moving on. This route is like emotional over-identification, right? This is the empath burnout. This is something I resonate with very, very deeply. You feel everything, and somewhere along the way, you've confused feeling others with fixing them, right? Now your nervous system is fried and you have no space left for you. So if this resonates, recently a very dear friend of mine called, this term came into my field through her. And if you're watching, love, thank you for that. It's called the healer's wound, and I'm researching into that now, and oh my God, it's opening up a whole new world for me, another layer of healing for me. So anyway, okay, if you resonate with this, the empath's wound, right? This is your question. Whose emotions are you still carrying? Whose emotions are you still carrying? Let it all come out. Stay with them. Just say, you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to go and do anything. Make that call, send that text, have that argument, or do anything. Am I asking you to do anything? No. All I'm asking you is to go into sacred inquiry, my darling. So the observer, the I am, the awareness side of you, the highest self version of you, witnesses everything with unconditional love and unconditional presence and stays with it. That's all as feminine beings we need to do for healing, believe it or not. Okay? This is our soft grind, my love. So yes, whose emotions are you still carrying? Let's move on. Another route. Lack of healthy feminine role models, right? Again, I relate. If you never saw a woman rest without feeling guilty, or say no without over-explaining herself, or choosing herself without punishment, and making herself a priority. If you've never seen these templates, how would you even know how to do it, right? So if you resonate with this, this is your journal prompt. Whose behavior taught you that self-sacrifice was noble? Whose behavior taught you that self-sacrifice was noble? Dig deep, darling. Go as deep as you can. There's no right or wrong here. Don't censor yourself, right? Don't judge yourself. Let it all come out. Memories, flashbacks, instances, storylines, patterns. Let it all come out. Witness it without judgment. Hold it with compassion. Be in awareness. Stay with it in stillness, in your full I am presence, until the pain of answering these questions alchemizes, dissipates, and dissolves. Let's move on. Another route. Avoidance of real, true intimacy, real, true love, right? So, real, safe love, protecting love, providing love, right? Real love from a husbandry-coded king energy or an emperor energy is coming your way, all right? And you don't know how to receive that. You judge it, you condemn it, right? You call it boring, or you call it like weird or whatnot. And you go and chase unavailable people. Not because you consciously want to suffer, but because real intimacy feels too raw, feels too risky, like you feel too seen, and you'd rather settle for crumbs, right? You'd rather settle for the familiar. At least they don't ask you to be fully present, right? And darling, if you resonate, this is your alchemy question. What kind of love feels safest, and why? What kind of love feels safest and why? Moving on to the 11th cause, root cause, okay? It's spiritual bypassing, like over forgiveness, right? You tell yourself you're being evolved, but in reality, you're abandoning your own pain, your own compass, right? There is, ladies, don't forget to hit that like button. Do you see, in my channel, in this portal, we don't talk about superficial stuff. We talk about soul level healing, right? I walk you through this journey for you to meet with your own soul, my darling. All right, we're not talking superficial anything here. So if you like content like this, which is quite rare, trust me, it is there, all right, amazing people online, but this is where the magic lies. And trust me, this content, even this one particular video, there are people out there who will charge you hundreds of dollars for this one particular video content with this just few bunch of questions, all right? I'm giving it to you with all my heart, completely free, all right? So because this is what we are about. So I want you to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, darling. All right, that's the little thing I ask of you. And of course, share it with that girl you know for a fact is neglecting herself and is abandoning her own soul. Okay, so yeah, in my channel there is another series of videos that I do. It's called Decoding the Bond series, and in the next upcoming Decoding the Bond series, we will be diving very, very deeply into this particular route, my darling, okay? The spiritual bypass, like pretty much abandoning and neglecting your own pain and calling it ascension or evolution, okay? And you allow people to cross your sacred boundaries because you don't want to seem low vibe or less evolved, right? Baby, your sacred rage is part of your light. Okay? So if this resonates, hit that notification button so you are immediately notified as soon as I drop this next upcoming Decode the Bond series, alright? With this particular root cause, this is the journal prompt you would want to work with. This is the question, my darling. Where have you silenced your anger, your sacred rage to stay lovable, to stay in connection? Where have you silenced your rage, your pain, your suffering to stay lovable, to be in partnership? Right. The last and the final root cause is emotional illiteracy, like nervous system collapse, right? You don't even know what your needs are anymore because no one ever modeled how to feel. So you override hunger, you override pleasure, sadness, truth, until you're just surviving. There's no soul there, you're just survival. But surviving isn't living, my love. Okay? You don't feel anything anymore. You don't have excitement, joy, fun, laughter, deep, intense mojo about vitality, about excitement, about anything anymore. Okay? So if this root cause resonates, this is your sacred, deep diving question. Okay? If your body could speak today, what would she beg you to hear? If your body could speak today, what would she beg for you to hear? Ladies, see, you didn't plant these roots, right? They were passed down. You absorbed it. You literally inherited it. But now with awareness, with consciousness entering the game, with self-compassion, changes everything. The moment you see the pattern, you stop feeding it. And instead of repeating the pain, you will begin rewiring it. You will begin to come back home to yourself, to your soul. And darling, that is where the best love you will ever experience in the world is. That is where the best peace, the best joy, the best everything that you will ever want to experience lives. That is where it's buried. That is your treasure, your communion, your alignment with your soul. Alright? So take a moment now, my darling, and know yourself. Know your patterns. What's your typical symptom? What's your root cause patterns? Figure it out. Know yourself. Remember, that's what we're all about. We're all about knowing ourselves. Right. So, with this, we come to the end of the cognitive, cerebral aspect, all right, the knowledge, content, information aspect of this transmission. And now we're going to step gently into a short, very sweet, guided breath work, inner child encountering visualization, right? Moments of chants, mantras, and affirmations coming through. So I want you to keep your journal down, keep your pen down, and if you are not in a safe space, save this video and come back to this segment at a much more convenient time. Alright? Now that you've seen the roots, my darling, we begin the healing. Not through fixing it, not through efforting, but through your presence, through your very breath, through meeting that part of you who was first asked to disappear. Alright? Before we get into this somatic breath work, I would like you to get into a comfortable position, either seated or lying down. Make the movements, micro movements, to make yourself as relaxed and as comfortable as possible. The idea is to be able to relax as deeply and open yourself up to this transmission as deeply as possible. And to get grounded in this now present moment, because remember, my darling, the power always remains in the magic of the now moment. So I want you to do any personal practice that you might have to help you ground into this powerful divine moment. I want you to visualize like you are standing under a waterfall of light frequencies, divine light coming from source itself. Color, whatever color that calls to you. Visualize that color of light falling on you and washing through you, going in you, your entire field, and you're relaxing with it. It's washing all the chaos away. It's washing all the energies away. Deeper into relaxation. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your womb or belly. Feel your body. Feel your breath. Notice where you're holding. Notice the tense areas. Notice the guarding. Release it all. Soften it all. Surrender it all to the magic of the now divine moment. Now, I want you to get aware of your breath. What we're going to do is inhale for 4 counts and you keep count yourself. Hold for 4 counts and you keep count for yourself. Exhale for 4 counts and hold for 4 counts. So you inhale, hold, exhale, and hold for 4 counts. And we're going to do this 4 times. Let's begin, shall we? Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, continue, darling, in your own rhythm, in your own pace, and stay with it until I come back. Now, gently whisper to your very soul, you are safe now. I am here. I will not leave you. You are safe. I witness you. I see you. I honor you. I love you. I will not leave you. I am here. Now I want to take you through a small inner child visualization. I want you to imagine you're walking into a room. It's quiet, it's safe, it's soft, it's warm. And sitting in the corner of the room is a little girl. Could be any age, 6, maybe 7 years old. You have the freedom to choose her age. And she, my darling, she is you. She is the version of you who first learned that her needs made others uncomfortable. She is the girl, the one who stayed quiet. When she wanted to scream, she stayed quiet. The one who smiled so no one would know she was hurting inside. I want you to look at her. See her face. What is she feeling? What is her posture? Where is she holding the tension? What does she believe about herself? Now slowly walk over to her. Sit beside that little girl. Let her know you're here now. And I want you to speak these words aloud to her or in your own heart. I'm sorry, darling, that you had to disappear. I'm sorry no one listened when you were crying inside. I see you now. I witness you. I hear you now. And baby, I will never leave you again. You don't have to perform. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to chase for love. You just get to be. And I will stay. I will stay with you. I love you unconditionally. Because my baby girl, I am the mother you always wanted and needed. I will protect you unconditionally, my darling. Because baby girl, I was the father you always wanted and needed. No one else. Now, I'd like you to place both your hands on your heart and feel her there, inside you. Not as a wounded memory, but as a part of you that's returning back home. Breathe into this sacred reunion. Allow the energies to integrate within you. With each inhale, Receive her fully. With each exhale, release her old patterns. Stay in this moment, the sacred divine moment, as long as you need. Don't rush past it. Pause this video if you must. Allow these energies to integrate. If you need to shut everything off and go to sleep, do it. Allow yourself anything unconditionally that you might need at this moment. All right, my darling. The most radical act of healing is learning to stay with the parts of you that were once left behind. And you just did that. Now let's take this sacred remembrance and bring it into your body. Not through logic, not through control or any masculine action. This is what we call divine feminine work. Alright? This is done through the language of your soul. Your soul understands best, even if your mind doesn't get it, darling. Now you can do this through sacred feminine art of movement, dance, breathwork, or through divine touch. Whatever calls to you the most in this sacred moment. This is not about choreography or dance performance, right? This is not about looking beautiful even. This is about coming back to you. So if it's safe, rise to a standing position or shift into a seated position that lets you move. I want you to keep your eyes soft or closed and allow your body to move. Just slightly at first. A gentle sway maybe, or a shoulder roll, a tilt of the neck. There's no right way or wrong way about this, darling. The only right way is, it is not a choreography, it is not a performance. As you sink deeply into your divine movement, ask your body, how would you move if you were finally safe to be fully seen? What shape would freedom take if you stopped shrinking? Physically explore that freedom through feminine movements, through your body's sacred rhythm. Unstructured, divine, fluid, free movements, whatever it is for you. Allow the divine energies of the sacred moment move through your entire body. It could be in sacred stillness even. If you need, pause this video and play that music that will help you in this, for you to experience this movement fully, and then come back. Right, now I want you to bring your hands to your body, wherever you feel called. Maybe it's your arms, that the ones that hold so much. Maybe it's your belly, the place that absorbs everything. Maybe it's your heart, the center of your longings. Touch yourself with sacred reverence, as if your body is sacred ground, because trust me, my darling, she is. And while you stroke her, touch her with sacred presence, say this aloud or silently as you touch your sacred body. I belong to me. I come first in my own heart. I am not here to perform. I am here to feel my own soul's song and dance. I am here to honor my soul. I am here to love her. Now inhale slowly. Let it rise from your womb. Exhale through your mouth like a sigh of surrender. Now move like a woman who refuses to abandon herself ever again. Let your hips remember. Your hips don't lie, remember? Let your spine unwind. Allow your tears, your breath, your voice move with you. This is not a dance, this is a return. Move like you've come home to the one who never left you. Pause this video if you must. And when you're ready, you can return to it. Repeat after me, love. Out loud if it's possible, or in your own mind's voice. I am the woman who stays. I am the woman who chooses herself. I am the woman who returns again and again back home to herself. Amen. What you just did, love, wasn't surface healing. It was sacred alchemy. You moved shame. You breathed through silence. You listened to the girl inside you who was never meant to be forgotten. Now, we gather what we've unearthed and we're going to shape it into something brand new. Some of the sacred mantras, chants, affirmations. Okay? So repeat after me. Speak these slowly. I used to perform to be loved. Now I express because I am love. I used to silence myself to stay safe. Now I speak with reverence for my truth. I used to overgive to feel needed. Now I nourish myself first. I used to chase love outside of me. Now I come home to the one within. I used to fear being too much. Now I honor every inch of my bigness. I used to forget myself in order to be chosen. Now I choose me first, fully and forever. Darling, If you have a handheld mirror, I would strongly suggest you go bring it and look at yourself, look into your eyes while we continue into this sacred activations. Okay? If it means taking your phone or your laptop or your tab into your bathroom mirror where you can see yourself in the eye, I would strongly suggest that you do. Look into your eyes now. In this mirror, and I want you to whisper to yourself or speak loudly into that eyes that's looking back at you. I will never leave you again. You are worthy of your own loyalty. You belong to your body. You belong to your voice. You belong to your joy. You belong to your pleasure. You belong to your joy. I am the woman who sees. I am the woman who stays. I am the woman who stops abandoning herself. I rise in devotion to my own needs. I return again and again to the one I've been searching for, and she was me all along. Inhale through your nose, feel your heart expand, exhale through your mouth. Let go of any residue. Let your body soften. Let the sacred moment seal these codes. And now to our final prayer and intention. Beloved woman, you did not come here today to fix yourself. You came to remember, to return to the truth that was never gone, only buried. And that truth is this: you are sacred. Your body is holy ground. Your needs are not a burden. Your voice is not too much. Your desires are divine instructions. You were not born to be chosen. You were born to choose, especially to choose yourself. So as we close this sacred space, may your nervous system soften under the weight of your own loyalty. May your heart beat in rhythm with your own truth. May your inner girl feel your safety, your hand, your hug, your love, and know she's no longer alone. May the next time you feel the urge to abandon yourself, you pause, you place your hand in your heart, and you whisper back, I'm staying, I got you, I'm here. Repeat this out aloud if possible. I set the intention to honor myself, even when it's uncomfortable. I choose to return again and again to my own body, breath, and my own becoming. I claim my sacred responsibility to meet my needs, speak my truth, and hold my inner girl with utter devotion. I am not here to disappear. I am here to live fully, fearlessly, and free. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Come back, my loves. So if this transmission stirred something in you, if you felt seen in ways you haven't in years, if something cracked open even slightly, then my love, this is just the beginning. Like and subscribe. Every little action will support this young and growing channel. Inside the Apsara Academy, we go deeper into healing. We don't talk about surface healing here, as you have experienced yourself firsthand. So we enter sacred space together, week after week. we return to the body, to truth, to the feminine wisdom that was never lost, only silenced. Thank you, my love, and go and live your best life.